welcome back to the Ask Dr. Be Good show. We have the part 2 of how Legacy is bringing the world to our students by reaching out across the globe and bringing international teachers to our students. Last week we spent some time with teachers from Spain and Mr. Jimenez from Argentina. And Mr. Jimenez is back with us today to introduce a different segment of our international teachers. But first, before we get started, let's go around the table and introduce ourselves. So, you want to start? Tell me your name, what school you're in, and what grade.
I'm Melissa Rowe, and I'm in
You're from Mesquite?
Mesquite.
What grade are you in?
First grade.
First grade. And you've been with us since kindergarten, haven't you? And we're going to come back to you because you've got something special to show us. Thank you. Next.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vera. I'm one of the Chinese teachers in Mesquite West Campus.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lucas Jimenez, and I'm the elementary curriculum director at Legacy.
Hi everyone, I'm Ying Lu. I'm from Plano campus.
What part of China are you from?
I'm from southern China.
Okay,
Very
thank you.
south. Yeah.
Ms. Vera, I think we forgot to ask you, where are you from?
I'm from Xi'an, one of the most Asian cities in the world.
And what makes it ancient?
It has a long history. It's the most Asian cities in China and one of the most 4 Asian cities in the world.
Wow. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Eduardo from the Mesquite campus, and I'm a senior there.
Thank you.
And my name is Miguel Abreu, and Melissa's father.
Okay, thanks for being here. Just for transparency's sake, Mr. Abreu is also a chemistry and physics teacher, but who happens to be proud papa to Melly today. All right, so Mr. Jimenez, you're not only the elementary curriculum person, but what's your other hat?
Well, I'm the dual language director also, and I oversee the Chinese program that is incorporated into our dual language program. This has been our 3rd year in Legacy that we have the Chinese program, and we teach it from kinder through 6th grade. And it has been, I believe, a great success. A lot of our kids are already bilingual, and now we are incorporating a 3rd language. So it's very exciting. We are also part of the Confucius Institute that is at UT Dallas. And that has been a great support for the program. We are one of the Confucius classrooms in Texas, in Dallas. And they provide us with a lot of support and possibilities for our students to go and perform in some of the cultural events and be part of the Chinese New Year's Eve and the Moon Festival. So it's a very positive experience to be part of the program.
Yes, they have been very supportive, not only financially, but also in the cultural experiences that they've been able to bring or offer us. So it's a win-win because sometimes we perform for them, sometimes they offer performances for our parents. So that collaboration is very enriching to our program. So thank you for bringing that up. So let's talk about our Chinese teachers. What made you come to the United States? Ms. Vera, since you're on my right, let's go ahead and start with you. What made you come over here?
My parents, they are here. So after I spent, actually before I came here, I completed my master's degree in New Zealand. And at that time, I find I'm just a good teacher. I found a job in an early childhood center. So I used to be an early childhood teacher. So from that time, I find I love kids. I wanted to be a teacher. And then when I come here, I find Chinese teacher. Actually, I find an opportunity. Then I start this career, and I find this is good, super good.
So you like teaching Chinese to lower grade students?
It's a sharing experience. So when you find the students appreciate your culture, I'm proud of my Chinese background. So it's not just learning a language. You teach them how to see the word. Like you bring the word in front of our students.
And I know that
Instead-
you're also doing cultural experiences with them. Can you talk about some of those cultural
Yes,
experiences?
we teach them something from China, like we teach them how to use chopsticks.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are proud of it. We try to use the chopsticks to pick up eggs. It's hard.
It is
It is
hard.
hard. And cheese balls, something like that, something circle and round.
I saw marshmallows. I
Yes,
saw somebody in
yes,
Plano doing
something
marshmallows.
like that, and we teach them like what is a actual conversation you can use to talk with a Chinese person, like that. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's exactly what we want. We don't want book Chinese. We want conversational Chinese. That's
Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you. Ms. Liu, now
Yes.
you're in Plano, and you're new to us this year. Can you talk a little bit about your experiences so far?
Yes. My mother is a teacher. She's an elementary teacher too. So I guess it's in the family, and I love to work with kids. So I was subbing in Plano for a year before I was hired as a Chinese teacher. So I love the school. I love the staff. So they've been very supportive. So when the opportunity appears, I happily, grasp. So yes.
And so what kind of cultural experiences are you bringing to our students in Plano?
Yes, every month, the past month, September, we have the Moon Festival. So I have students to do the Chinese lantern. Yeah, they love it. And the classroom is a mess after that, but we clean it up. But they love their lantern. We fold a 2D one and a 3D one. Made a 3D one. Mhm. Yes.
Okay. So, like in October, what cultural experience will happen?
October is fall, so I'm teaching them everything related to fall, to harvest. So I'm still in the planning, so I will see how it goes.
Okay, well, that makes sense. All. All right, so you brought Melly with you today, and Melly's sort of special because she represents 3 languages. Melly came in already bilingual in Spanish. Matter of fact, I remember seeing a video of her last year, sort of just chatting and singing with her mom at home, and she was talking in English and Spanish and singing in Chinese. And that was last year, so let's see what she can do this year. So, Miss Vera, you want to show Melly off a little bit?
你好，
你好，
你叫什么名字啊？
我叫 Melissa，
你几岁啦？
6岁，
太棒了！你今天给我们表演什么？
唱歌。
那我们开始了，准备好了吗？
好啦，
好看，
1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10、90。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。和你合适，和你合适。
太棒了！谢谢
Nice job, Miss
Melissa
Melly. I want one of those. So, do you enjoy your Chinese class? And do the other boys and girls seem to enjoy it also? Yeah, you think so? Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that. What is your most favorite thing about learning Chinese?
Saying hi to everybody.
Saying hi in Chinese to everybody? That is sort of because not many children your age can say hi in Chinese in the United States. Not yet. So there aren't as many as can say hola, right? Porque tú también hablas español. Pero hay muchos niños en los Estados Unidos que hablan español, pero no tantos que hablan chino. Tú eres muy especial being able to speak 3 languages. So let's now pop over to Mr. Abreu. A little bit proud, are we, Dad?
More than that.
So how do you feel about having your child at a school that offers triple languages?
It's feel really good. I feel like it's in the correct place.
You know that her brain is being impacted in a different way because she speaks more than one language.
I was reading. Actually, I was reading like 3 weeks ago. I was reading about that, and it sounds like it was in a study from Nova University or Harvard University. I don't remember. There was an article about it that the brain, the electricity on the brain of the child, work like double, and they think's different.
Yes. So there are many studies now that show that kids who learn a language, a second language, a third language at an early age, first of all, they learn it in a much easier way,
It's the way.
faster way. Their pronunciation is better. And it does impact the brain. When they have done studies of kids speaking, and I think even adults speaking more than one language, the brain fires differently than people who only know one language. So being able to offer that opportunity to your child, that it's brain impacting.
It is brain impact, and it's going to impact her future. That's why and actually when I talk to her, I'm talking to you right now in English because the podcast is in English, but when I talk to her, I always try to talk to her in Spanish.
Good.
And she always, when she went talk to me, she knows that she needs to talk to me in Spanish.
That's right.
And that way I make sure that she never going to lose those language.
El que sabe dos idiomas vale por dos.
¿Verdad, Meli?
No sé lo que vale alguien que tiene tres idiomas. I don't know. Somebody who knows
Vale
three
por
languages,
tres.
I don't know how much they're worth. Priceless, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every job I've ever gotten practically is because I speak Spanish. And so being able to speak English, Spanish, and Chinese means that she could communicate with 90% of the people in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So we love that we're able to offer that opportunity and that we have parents who value that like you do. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Mr. Camarena,
Yes.
you were able to take part in one of the Confucius classroom opportunities that was offered last year for us to be able to send students to China on a 2-week or 10-day,
Yeah.
it's a 10-day tour. Can you talk a little bit about your experiences? Where did you go? What cities you went to, and so forth?
I went for exactly a week or 2 weeks, and it's an experience that I wouldn't forget. There was different types of. It was very different than United States. The culture, the museums that I went to were gorgeous, and I had went to 4 different cities. First was Nanjing, Yungshu, another one that I can't remember.
Go to
And
Beijing?
then,
Did you go to Beijing?
no, Beijing, no. And then Shanghai.
Okay. Now, had you been out of Dallas before?
I have to Mexico.
Okay, so Mexico was the only place that you'd ever visited outside the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so can you tell me some of the cultural differences that sort of stood out the most to you?
They were kind of similar, but they were different just by a little.
Like, let's talk about the food. Talk to me about the food.
The food was pretty good, but not for me though.
All right, let's talk about that a little bit. You're used to really Mexican food.
Yeah.
Tacos, tortillas,
Spicy.
enchiladas. Well, the Chinese do spicy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oof, they do.
It was very spicy.
And so they had a lot of seafood.
Yeah.
Are you a seafood lover?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was good. And which were the foods that you didn't care for?
Like duck.
Okay. Well, duck is an acquired taste.
But the kind of duck was kind of like raw. Like
Okay.
the raw stuff wasn't my favorite.
Okay. Well, I don't know that that would be my favorite either. All right. What about the vegetables?
They're so something different and good.
Yeah, they have like the broccolini type. I'm not saying it right, but they have a special broccoli, and they have bok choy. and some vegetables that you don't commonly see in American or Mexican dishes.
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take you to get over there on the plane?
Wow, it was 14, 15 hours.
On the plane, right? And how did your body do that? How did it take that kind of change?
The jet lag was something I never experienced.
And so, how long did it take you to get over it?
Well, I was really tired as soon as we landed, so I went straight to sleep.
I'm sure. and I know that there's worse jet lag when you come back. Did you? How was your jet lag when you came back?
We left during day and we arrived during day, so it was.
You actually
Yeah.
went backwards in time, sort of, right?
Yeah.
That is sort of that phenomena that people who haven't traveled much, sort of have to mentally get used to.
Mhm.
That you're actually going back in time when you're flying back to the United States. It's sort of an interesting thought process there. What kind of what kind of touristy places did you go visit?
Went to where they did the Olympics in China. I think it was 10 years ago or more.
Okay.
And then different museums.
Go see the Great Wall?
No.
Oh, that's too bad. Okay. Well, China's huge. I mean, you just can't get everywhere the first time. So I heard that you're ready to travel again.
I'd like to.
You had told Ms. Dominguez that you wanted to go where next?
Spain.
Spain. I heard that. Yeah. And so how will you plan to do that?
Not too sure.
Because I think, do we have a trip to Spain on the books?
Yes, there's the possibility of doing or starting a exchange program with the school in Valladolid, in Spain. So we are in the process to see if we can get more students to get on board to do an exchange program with the school from Spain.
Yes, I believe that we have about 15 students who are anxious to come over.
Yes.
Our obstacle, which I'll put out there to our parents, especially in the Plano area, we're looking for host families. And so we need about 15 host
Yes.
families with school-age children that the kids from Spain can relate to and learn from, because it's definitely supposed to be a cultural exchange. And so wanting to make sure that our kids from Spain get a big cultural enrichment piece, but that our children here in the United States
Exactly.
also benefit from having kids from the other side of the world, in close proximity, would be a great benefit as well. So
Yes.
if we have any Plano families who are interested in being host families, that's supposed to happen, if we hope, in November, if we can pull it off.
Correct.
So, but that's not the only opportunity for travel, right? I think we have a Washington trip that's also
This year.
on the books. So we're looking for those families interested in going to Washington, D.C. So more and more, as we get better at learning how to travel, and all of that involves how to pay for that travel. As we get better at that, we're getting more kids to be able to do that. Now, I know, Mr. Camarena, that your mom did something really special to be able to afford, because even though the Confucius classroom paid for some of the room and board, you had to pay for the airline ticket, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so how did your parents afford that?
My mom actually started selling tamales in the school to the teachers, and
So, I think that's very entrepreneurial of her and you guys, that you guys figured out a way, and I believe, was that $2,000?
yeah.
I think there was $2,000 of your part to pay for. And the fact that we had you and another student able to do that, to represent us as part of a group. There were other schools that went, right?
Yeah, from Washington and California.
Did you by chance get to stay in contact with any of those kids?
From California, yeah.
That's cool. And that's why we do this. Not only
Yes.
are we offering enriching experiences to kids who haven't traveled as much, especially that far, but also to network, to talk to other kids from other countries, other states, and possibly, stay in contact with them. Sometimes we'd like to say the rest of our lives. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. But what's happening to you is exactly what we want to have happen. It's meeting our goals for our students to broaden your horizons, to broaden your friend network, and to bring experiences that you would otherwise not have. And so, thank you for letting us showcase you and the opportunities that we're bringing that are making that happen. So, Melly, talk to me a little bit about what else you want to learn in Chinese. Because I know that you've learned some conversational Chinese, and you know what I didn't ask? What were you guys talking about?
Sorry. I just asked her to say her name, her age, and I asked her what she bring to us today, and she said she's going to sing for us, and we just ask her if she's ready, something like that, so she can understand and answer. It's super great.
Are you finding that some of our kids who have been taking Chinese this is their start of their third year, that they're actually recognizing commands and conversational,
Yeah, sure.
informal conversation?
Yeah, sure. Because that's our goal. That's our goal. We want to use the language, not just like the
Book learn it is what we got.
Yes.
Yeah. I
No.
can't tell you how many times I have walked in. I'm a longtime educator, and so I've walked a lot of, especially secondary Spanish classes.
Yeah.
Not at Legacy, but in other before I got to Legacy, and I would be in a Spanish 4 class, and the kids they were kids from all different races. They all had lots written on their paper, but when I would talk to them in Spanish, they'd give me a deer in the headlight look. They couldn't talk to me. They didn't have any conversational Spanish. So yes, they were passing their Spanish 4 AP classes,
Yeah, it's an AP
but they
class.
couldn't talk
Understand
Spanish.
at all.
It was all book learned. And so I have asked our foreign language teachers to make sure that conversational Spanish and Chinese is part of what we do.
Yes, yes. We do teach them how to recognize some like common words. I used to teach them like this is a sight word in Chinese. So some of the common words, when I show them, they will recognize. But we talked with Ms Liu and another Chinese teacher. She's brilliant. She's Ms Diaz, and we just try to figure out how we design some scenarios. So actually, our students can use, like if we teach them food, so we can design a scenario. So maybe teach them how to order Chinese food in a restaurant, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine little Melly going into a Chinese restaurant and ordering her food in Chinese?
She will need to. I will not gonna imagine. She will need to.
Well, but even here in the United States, if she did that, she goes to a Chinese restaurant, she would shock them. Just like when I speak Spanish and people don't know I speak Spanish, and
They shock.
imagine Chinese coming out of this little sweet face.
She
Oh my
will
God.
do that.
Oh, I'd love to be there. So, Melly, what other things do you want to learn in Chinese?
What's your name?
So, but you already know that one. So, what
Mhm.
else do you need to know? Think about it.
Buena pregunta.
So you already know how to say hi, how you doing? This is my name. What other kind of things do you think you need to know in Chinese to carry on a conversation?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
She said good.
Yes. Do you know goodbye? What is it? Can you say it to me? ¿Y lo sabes en chino?
A little bit.
Okay. Can you say? Can you tell me? You want to look at Miss Vera for help?
Saiyan.
There you go. Yeah. Little bit of prompting, but there it is. I knew you had it in you. So, all right. Before we end, we have a special ending. This is the first time we've had this kind of ending on a show. You have something else to do for us, don't you? What are you gonna do for us to close the show? ¿Vas a cantar tu segunda canción?
Meli?
Okay.
你还知道另外一首歌，对不对？星期一 ，Let's go。
星期一、星期二、星期三、星期四、星期五、星期六。今天 is the tricky one. These are the days of the week. Woo!
Para mí también. All right. What a great ending. I don't know that we'll ever have such a good ending on any other podcast. We had a special show today. We had all ages here represented. We had kids, we had teachers, we had parents, and we had 3 languages going on at some point. So thank you all for braving the traffic and getting here today. And, thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. Chinese teachers, you're having an impact on kids. You can see that. Mr. Abreu,
I don't have a word.
keep bringing her, and we'll keep filling her head with 3 languages. Thank you, Mr. Camarena, Ms. Liu, and Ms. Vera. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ask Dr. Be Good show. For more information on Legacy Preparatory Charter Schools, visit our website, legacypca.com, or call 469-249-1099. And remember to like us on Facebook, where we stream live weekly Tuesdays at 3 p.m.